In Nigeria, we kind of, policy making is kind of on the hoof. And for everybody, our problem in Nigeria is if we can get enough soldiers who will shoot our way out of this problem with Boko Haram and all of the people who are committing all these atrocities. But we can't. And when you look at the underlying data, okay, it's not the number of people killed, but look at the places where people are killed and the states which have the biggest problems of killings. Now, you will notice the two most popular states in Nigeria are Lagos and Kano. Yes? Lagos is the smallest state by territory in all of Nigeria. It's about 3,777 square kilometers, give or take. Kano State is the second smallest state in northern Nigeria, second only to Gombe State. Gombe is about 18,197 or thereabouts square kilometers. Kano is about just a little over 20,000 square kilometers. Yes? Now, it also happens that Gombe State and Kano State are the two states in northern Nigeria with the least problem of mass violence. It's not an accident. Now, where are the states in Nigeria with the biggest problems of mass violence? You ask yourself. Borno State. Borno is about 17,800 square kilometers. Yes? And it's therefore the second largest state in Nigeria. Number two, now, in terms of incidents, if not numbers of killings, Niger State. Niger State is about 76,300 square kilometers. It is the biggest state in Nigeria, bar none. Number three, Kaduna State. Kaduna State is the fourth largest state in Nigeria. The third is Taraba State. Kaduna is about 46,100 and a bit square kilometers, just about 46,100 under that square kilometers. The third largest state in Nigeria is Taraba State. In terms of violence, it's about the fourth. And you can go on and on. Yobe State is number 6, Zamfara State is number 7, Adamawa State is number 8 in terms of landmass. Number 5 is Bauchi State. Now, what is common to all of these states? Vast tracts of land. Now, take Niger State, which is now increasingly a zone of killings. At 76,300 and a bit square kilometers and 25 local government areas, Niger is ungovernable. Now, try and understand this. Imo State, as I was trying to explain yesterday, is just about 5,000 square kilometers. 5,000 square kilometers. And Imo State has 27 local government areas. Niger State has 25 local government areas and is over 15 times the size of Imo State. Basically, the average size of a local government area in Niger State is close to the size of Imo State. Okay? Now, what does that mean? You have so much territory, you can't deploy protection assets effectively. So you have Lagos State Niger State is over 20 times the size of Lagos State. Lagos State has over 5 times the number of police assets than Niger State. So when you have a crisis, you can't deploy assets of protection effectively, and any assets you want to deploy are invariably overwhelmed by territory and landmass. They can't effectively cover anywhere. They're outnumbered. That is the crisis we have in the north. Wherever you have, Zamfara State has 9 local government areas with a territory of about 39,000 square kilometers.
Nearly twice the size of Kano.
Yes, nearly twice the size of Kano. It has just 9 local government areas. What are you going to do with that? How are you going to deploy protection assets? You can't. Borno State, with nearly 71,000 square kilometers, has the same number of local government areas as Imo State, 27. Now, as I said, Kano and Gombe states are the two states that kind of buck the trend in the north, but that is because they are relatively small relative to the others. And when you compare the size, Jere local government area in Bauchi state, which is also a site of some difficulty, is the site of the greatest difficulty in Bauchi, is about 6,800 square kilometers, which is about the size of Enugu state. Enugu state is the biggest state in the southeast of Nigeria. It's one local government area. Jere is the biggest local government area in Nigeria. Now, this is where the crisis is. It's not about guns and no guns and shoot and no shoot. We don't have enough assets to control the territory that we are dealing with, or the territories that we are dealing with. You're not going to have banditry in Lagos State. Now, if you look in the south, you will discover that the state with the greatest violence is Rivers State. And Rivers State is the one state that comes close to replicating not the size or scale of landmass problems in the north, but the scale of ungovernability of territory because of its ungoverned waterways, ungoverned creeks. And you find that again in Bayelsa State. That is the problem. So there is a commonality of patterns of ungoverned territories. That means, for me it's very clear, if you can extend the reach of government and of the state, the further you can extend it, the more likely you are to be able to control this violence. But we cannot do that thinking the only way we can do it is by shooting. We've got to make government more effective. And when you speak to the military assets, they will tell you kinetic mechanisms, which is basically warfare mechanisms, cannot win this thing. What they give you is a tactical window in which to emplace longer term solutions, and the longer term solutions have got to be governance mechanisms. Now, when you have meningitis ravaging an entire state, and instead of spending money on basic medical care and equipment and personnel, a governor is spending money sending marabouts to go to Mecca and pray, there is a problem. You cannot have government if there are no roads for citizens to transact. So I don't know whether you have tried to go from Mina to Wushishi in Niger State. Maybe I'm even putting it too far. Try and go from Suleja to Mina, and then Mina to Bida. Mina to Bida is about 83 kilometers. It will take you close to 5 hours. Now, talking about national integration and nation building, the biggest form of integration is commerce. It's intermarriage. It is spontaneous activity by citizens. What the state does is to enable it. It enables it through providing security, through providing roads and basic infrastructure, so citizens can then pursue their own interactions. But now, when I went to secondary school in Okigwe, in Imo State, I went to Federal Government College Okigwe in the late 70s, early 80s. Young parents could send their children to the train terminal in Kaduna. This was 8 years after a civil war that had conflagrated the entire country. But parents on different sides of that war could trust that if they deliver their children at a train terminal in Kaduna, the train will convey them safely to Enugu and to another train terminal, where they will be picked up and dispersed to their various schools in that neighborhood. It worked perfectly. Today, in Kaduna, a parent in the south, Banawa, will not send their child to a school in Malali in the north, across the bridge of Kaduna. A parent in Bukuru in Jos will not send their child across Jos to Do in the north. A parent in Jos cannot send their child to school in Wase, also in Plateau State. That is the problem we've got. And if you don't do this, you can't build a country. If you have a situation in which everybody is in their little part of the country, they do primary school, secondary school, nursery, university, everything, and then they're elected from there to come and become Senate President, it will not work. And that's where we are. So at the level of spontaneous interaction that drives national integration, we're stuck. At the level of institutional mechanisms that enhance the legitimacy of government so that citizens can offer it habitual obedience, we're stuck. At the level of optics that enable citizens to see the government as as doing its best to integrate all of them and protect all of us within a framework of a shared Nigerian identity, we're stuck. Something needs to change.